why should customers care about the product I'm selling, and why would they call Kurt and say, Kurt, your value proposition aligns with what I want out of my property, either buying, selling, or investing, so I want to work with you. Does that make sense? A clear value proposition simplifies why customers should choose you. I specialize in this area. I specialize in this price range. I specialize working with VA buyers, FHA buyers. I specialize in rehabbing properties for people, helping line up all the contractors so it's not so overwhelming, whatever it may be. Is the message you sending out getting any response, low response, medium response, high response? How to kind of measure that better, especially online. Is the message I'm sending out hitting with people, or am I missing incorrectly and I'm just doing a I do everything kind of statement and it doesn't connect with anybody individually? Highlight unique benefits that solve the customer problems better than competitors. Here's what I do. I'm working with a buyer. You want them to have a home inspection, correct? They say, I may not want to spend the money sometimes because it's already, the down payment and the closing costs and the expense and all that. So I help pay for the home inspection. Then I'll surprise them. I'll pay a lot of times for older homes to have a sewer line examined and a roof inspection. Why do you want a separate roofer looking at the roof, not just a home inspector? And that roof may need more work than you think. Perfect example. A few years ago, I sold a house. The guy said, oh, I just had the roof worked on. I was looking at it. No, I'm gonna have my guy come out. He says, no, we don't want your guy on the roof. I said, well, according to the contract, I'm allowed that inspection. So they finally, okay, I have to be there. Okay, I don't care. Seller can be there, agent can be there, whatever. He got on the roof. Roof is shot. They tried to do some weird patching thing. So I said, I need a new roof. They said, no way. I said, fine, bye-bye. Because now it's getting too expensive to buy what? The roof and the kitchen and the baths and the sewer. I mean, it just got to a point where it's like, this poor young family, there's no way. So we said, okay, we'll cancel. The agent said, you can't cancel. Okay. Nice try. Is that happen? Sometimes people don't know how to perform in a contract because they don't do it enough. So we said goodbye, very professionally. The seller and agent called me one night on a conference call. Of course, the seller's all mad. I said, well, how's it my fault the roof shot? Is it Diana's fault? Is it Kurt's fault? No, the roof shot. 35 years old, it's worn down. Seller finally said, look, I'll give you $20,000 for the roof. Will you buy the house? So let me talk to the buyers. It's not my place to say yes or no. Talk to them, put the new roof on, because they don't have the ability after. They agreed, put the new roof on with a permit. The guy was mad about the permit. Now I know why. One of the bathrooms was unpermitted. He forgot to tell us that. Got it all situated, closed. The people still live there to this day and they absolutely love it. Because what else has happened in the last few years to the price of their home? They could barely afford it at $800,000. Now it's like $1.3 million and they're like, yeah, we're the smartest people ever. Highlight unique benefits that solve customer problems better than your competitors. I have a house full of stuff. What do? Hire Mike Cocos. He will help bring in a group of people that do what? Declutter, sort it. And here's what I do. I hire an estate person and an appraiser because there's sentimental value and there's actual value. So a lot of people say, oh, this painting over here, it's worth $2,000. And the appraiser comes in and says, no, I'm sorry. There's hundreds of them on the market now. It's worth about $50. See, it's not me saying it, it's Sue, an appraiser. We went through the house, took like 2 hours. So they decided to let a lot of the stuff go because they realized when you add up the value, it was pennies. I said, sentimental stuff, we're gonna help you box up. Grandfather stuff from World War II, your dad's stuff from the Korean and Vietnam War. You gotta keep that stuff as sentimental. Does that make sense? People said, why would you do that? You spent $2,000 your own money. They paid me what I was asking for on a $2.5 million deal. Is that a good check, yes or no? So it's $2,000 okay to spend. And they referred me. Mikey happy. The amount of people communicating with me right now when they call me about Cali Granada are not prepared for me to answer the phone and ask the appropriate professional questions because they didn't plan the call before. So when I pick up the phone and say, hi, how you doing? They're like, I don't know what that means, but I bet you call about Cali Granada. They're like, oh, that's the one. Yeah. They don't remember the street. They don't remember the price. They don't remember reading the remarks. They don't remember anything. Now, as representing the seller, do I feel good working with somebody that? No. What is a unique value proposition? We talked about simple statement explaining how to provide customers with distinct value. I'd like you to take 1 minute only. I don't want you spending 20, 30 minutes. What one thing are you willing to provide a buyer, seller, investor that they say that is unique to you and you're willing to help me, not just take from me, to add value to your service? As a seller, what's one of the main questions? What price are they offering? How much down? When do they want to close it? And are they qualified? Are those 4 questions we always get? Yeah. And can I talk to the lender to make sure they can get along? Because a lot of lender letters out there, as we've talked about, are
shaky.
Yeah, at best. Here's what I'm doing representing sellers. You notice when you have a listing, you always have those 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 people that like to really lowball it. You know it's going to sell. Let's say we're just throwing out a number. You know it's for a fact it's going to sell for $1 million, no matter what it's priced at. You know that's kind of like the bottom. And these people call you and they want to offer 700, 800, 850. And you're like, well, I would buy it myself. Why would I sell it? So here's what I did yesterday. I was on the phone. I said, ma'am, if you can send me 3 closed comps recent that justify your price, I will present your offer with those comps and get you a response as quick as possible. Complete silence. Then she tried to bring up a comp miles away. Can an appraiser pass all the sales in an area and say, I'm going to go 5 miles, 10 miles out? Nope. Ron's shaking no. Here's what happened. Me and Ron were dealing with it a year and a half ago. Seller wanted to sell his property in a condo complex. The appraiser's going to pull comps somewhere first, internally. Because they can't say, I'm not counting these 5 sales. I'm just going to go down the street 3 miles. The seller was demanding we ignore all the comps inside the track. Is that doable? And of course, Ron's trying to explain to the guy, it's not even possible by any appraiser. Brand level, what's your brand? Do you have a brand, a logo? My brand is my phone number, 815-MIKE. People will actually call me, Mike, are you in front of your computer? We're looking for a movie. We're driving, we can't pull up the, work on the phone, and I remembered your phone number. So there I am. Okay, the times for Cinemax. But do we do stuff like that? Yes or no? Of course we do. Product level. What sets a specific product apart from competitors? Mine is I'm willing to do sewer line, roof inspection. For the seller, I'm willing to help with decluttering, cleaning up the yard, et cetera, et cetera. Me and Gene just advanced over $60,000 prepping a home. We put a lien against the property. Why do we do a lien against the property, Gilbert? My position. And secondly, what happens if an IRS lien all of a sudden hits? A franchise tax board lien, or something happens to the seller, God forbid, and the kids say, we're taking over the house and we're not paying you. With the lien against the home, it becomes harder for them to do what on the fee? Because we're doing so much. It establishes your value, like we're talking about. What makes your products feature unique? So like if you went into the marketplace, do you offer anything that's unique that would catch somebody's eye? I do mobile shredding. KDT just got a listing. They got tons of boxes, old tax returns. I bring up a mobile shredder to your home. You don't have to take it anywhere. Dump it all. We promote it to the neighborhood. Neighborhood come brings their boxes. Hand them flyers that your home's coming on the market. Do people have friends, family, coworkers that like to live in the same neighborhood? Kabam. You'd say, Mike, that's $250. So what? It's $250. What we're trying to do, me and Gene, just trying to crack the skulls open sometimes to keep you thinking about how can I advance my business forward? Because like Margaret said, I got one coming, I got another one coming. This is what she's saying to me. I didn't ask her. She says, now that I got the adrenaline going, I want this to not stop. Yeah. When's the best time to get more business? When you have it. I'm telling you, your adrenaline and your energy, nobody can slow you down. Ron's got 20 loans going and someone says, I don't like your rate. I don't care. I got 20 loans. I'm going to go get some more. Because your adrenaline's so high. Define the target audience. Are you going after probate? You going after a specific area, specific price range, specific clients that do VA, FHA, whatever it may be. Define the problem you solve. What problems are you solving for the client so they see value in your business? List the alternatives. If they don't want to declutter, me and Gene's alternatives, we can buy your house on the spot or another investor can, but cleaned up, your property's worth $925. You'll make an extra $75 grand. If you want to sell it the way it is, it's $700, but we can close it in 10 days. Is that an alternative? Yes or no? Some people take the alternative. Why? It's easy. They just want to be done with it. It's just, they don't want the stress, even though me and Gene are handling the whole rehab, meeting the contractors, the city, which is just lovely. We're going to finish it up by doing this. How good are you at what you're doing and how you're presenting? You know how many sales this guy does? Him and his team do over 200 sales a year. Are they successful? Yes or no? All the time they're looking at, are we good at what we do, and are we making sure the customer knows? Diana will come over at 8 o'clock at night, sit down with us and spend 2 hours explaining everything so we feel comfortable, sign the documents and move forward with Diana. That's her service. She just said it. What do you offer that no one else does? Mobile shredding, estate sales, decluttering, massive yard cleanup. By the way, the previous owner of the house in Anaheim, I sent him the photos. He said, how did you do it that fast? I said, we had a good crew. He says, I should have done that years ago. My wife wanted me to do it for years. I never did it. And we did it, by the way, in 4.5 days. Tons of stuff came out. By the tons. It was amazing. What will the response be from the customer for your unique proposition and features and benefits? How will they respond? Because you're doing the extra and you let them know. I just want you to know I went out of my way, went to the city, and this is what I did for horse property here near Belinda. I had the title company in the city plot all the easements on the property. Guess what we found out? Couldn't build on the yard. We couldn't move the easements. That's why no one's ever built on the big backyard. So now the buyer has to decide, do you want to buy the house knowing you can't build, or do you want to move on? Years later, they still remember I did that. I brought the map over to their house and laid it right on their table. Remember, a well-crafted, unique value proposition is more than a few lines of text. It's the foundation of how you're going to grow your business. This comes from a person that has done over 200 sales. Do you think they're got a certain amount of talent? It's not from someone that's doing 0 or 1 sale every couple years. I'm asking kindly that you keep educated. The days you work, you work. The days you're off, but you have the mindset of, I'm willing to work hard because all the other agents calling me can't believe we're doing what on his property or mine. We're working that hard because we got so lazy this last few years. All you had to do is what? Throw it in the MLS with 1 photo and you got multiple offers. That was never a good style of doing business. Never should have happened. We should never do it here. Even if it's priced really good, you should always work really hard for the client to demonstrate value and to get them the maximum value out of that property.